The associative property and the commutative property are often mixed up in the classroom, so I wanted to share what I found helpful at the secondary level. This is before we talk about numbers, when we are just looking at what do these words mean. So I will start by asking the students, who do you hang out with? Who are you associating with? So this starts getting them thinking about who they're hanging out with and not so much math. And here we want to look for a student that maybe says they have friends at school and then maybe they play a sport or they're in a club after school. And then for commutative, I will ask them, how do you get to school and how do you get home? So when I was teaching high school, our students would take the bus, some students would drive, some students walked or biked to school. So really focusing on that form of transportation. So once you have these students thinking about these questions, then you can start taking their answers and putting them into a math problem in something that they will understand. So for the associative property, I start by pointing out that during the school day, they are hanging out with their school friends. And then they do still have their soccer friends, but they're not with them. And then after school or at soccer practice, they're hanging out with their soccer friends and they still have their school friends, but they're not with them. So the associative property is really about who are you hanging out with at that moment, and we use parentheses to represent it. For our commutative, I talk about transportation since students take different transportation and enforce that it's you and some form of transportation gets you to school and then transportation and you somehow get home. And so then from here, you can start talking about the math, but it really starts putting things into perspective before you start jumping into numbers and talking about numbers changing or parentheses changing. So I hope this helps your students.